Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Combo Convo. On this episode, we review the 8th and ninth round of the Champa Tournament Saga. Kaioken times 10! Alright, Vic, so that's it. 8th and ninth, we finally reached the final part of the Champa Tournament Saga. And boy, did a lot happen in these last two episodes. Let's start from, round 8, which was Goku versus Hit. This was something that was building up. We knew that he was going to be the toughest opponent out of everybody from Universe 7 or 6? 6.
6, yeah.
From Universe 6. And so we find out that he's an assassin. We find that out first through multiple explanations throughout the tournament. And we find out that his ability is something called a time jump, where he's able to jump in the beginning 0.1 seconds through time, and that's what most of his ability is manipulating time, so he's able to dodge or counter. And we learned that through who? We learned that through a little bit of everybody, right?
Yeah, Champa. No, not Champa. The gods were useless to it.
Yeah. The king, right? Or
the king of the universe.
Yeah.
I forgot what his name was. A little bit of Jocko.
Yeah.
And Whis and the other female version of her.
Female Whis. So it's pretty much it's time jump versus Super Saiyan God, and Goku right off the bat seems like he wants to go full force. Like he kind of figures out his moves in the beginning, as Goku does. He likes to kind of gauge his opponent, and when he kind of figures out, we see that he is able to counter, and he knows what he's doing. So two interesting things, at least from the beginning of this round, was Goku, and even some of the characters said it. They were like, he's pretty much telling him his strategy. He's not holding back at all. He's not trying to hold anything. He's like, I figured out you got time jump. I figured out how to counter it. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna just pretty much go all out. And there were a lot of instances in this fight where people were like, why are you telling him your strategy? Like, what's going on? So what do you think? What's behind Goku letting him know pretty much his strategy?
I mean, his confidence. It's like he's like, listen, like, if he's handling his time jump when he's in base form, he knows going Super Saiyan God, imagine what he's going to do then. You know what I'm saying? He's like, listen, I figured it out.
Yeah.
This and that. He's like, yeah, but I'm going to go and change it up based off of going here and making assumptions. He's like, yeah, you're making assumptions based off of like what you think I'm going to do, but you have no clue what Super Saiyan God is.
Yeah.
So, he has that and stuff, so it's just confidence and stuff. It's like him just trying to make a fight interesting, because Goku, like, he realizes, like, this guy ain't gonna really have shit for me at this point,
Yeah.
He's not. So, when it comes to that, it's like, he's just trying to make it interesting, Goku style.
Yeah.
Make it a fair fight.
Make it a fair fight. And you definitely know that by him also going God form. He's like, look, let's go, let's do this. If we're gonna do this, let's go all out. And it seems like Goku's getting the upper hand little by little, until we get a part to where Goku decides that so Hit starts increasing. We learn that he does something called improving. That's his way of powering up. Like that's his way of powering up. But so here's the thing. So they call it improving, but they say his physical stats don't change.
No.
All that he's improving is the time that he has to freeze time.
He's just improving his levels. It's like if you're a fighter and stuff, you can't, like, some people can't get any stronger in what they're going to become. They can't get any faster in what they're going to become.
Right.
So what they start improving on is their technique. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes when you improve on the technique and stuff, it's like, let's say you throw a punch, but you just throw a punch, you don't know how to throw a punch. Okay, now that's at one level.
Mm-hmm.
Now you learn how to go ahead and throw your shoulder into it. You're throwing it the same kind of power and stuff, but you're generating different results. Then when you go ahead and saying you throw your hip into it, you start doing these kind of modifications.
Mm-hmm.
It could take whatever your strength level was at before. Now it could kind of manipulate and make it seem like you're hitting harder. You are hitting harder, but all you're doing is using technique. So that's what he's using. Is like he's improving his technique. So his improvements, what he calls improvements, is just from that. Which I thought was pretty interesting. It's like, in that universe, you seen the level he was at You seen the number 2 guy next to him, number 3, number 4, number 5. So it's like, okay, well, if these are the next guys in line, he really wouldn't need to improve on that technique.
Right.
Because nobody has anything for it. If he fought Frost, he would have. He did. He smoked him.
He smoked him.
If he would have fought Kaba, he would have smoked him. If he would have fought Botan or he would have smoked him. You know, really the only person in that universe who could actually give him any kind of competition would be what's his face, Champa.
Beerus, Champa, or Goku.
Champa, or even the female version of Whis.
Mm-hmm.
So he had no reason to do that. You know, but to tell you the truth, Champa would be reason enough to do that. Yeah.
So, but the reason why I asked that question is because, well, I'll save that for maybe later when we talk about the next stuff that happens. But I just wanted to kind of clarify, like, he's not improving his physical stats. He's just improving his technique.
Yeah, that's it.
So Goku sees that, and then Goku says that he's releasing his trump card, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the trump card, which was something I don't think any of us were expecting, was the fact that Goku was able to use Kaioken and God Mode, and then to even surpass that and do Kaioken times 10 in God Mode. Which was, I mean, it looked cool, don't get me wrong. You had the blue and the red, and you had that, you know, just that aura about it, but do you think that maybe this is too quick, too soon?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, it was. I said, listen. I thought God Mode was too quick, too soon for them to have, and I thought God Mode Surpass was just being OD. And now the fact is God Mode Surpass with Kaioken
times 10,
and then you times it by 10. When because you had it here,
we saw it. Yeah, we saw it together,
and stuff, and I had said, okay. The minute I saw that, I was like, if there was any kind of debate between Superman and Goku, like who was more powerful and this and that, that's squash. That's squash now. It's like God Mode, you could probably argue him and Superman by even. God Mode Surpass, now you're getting into that, like, well, it surpassed God Mode. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, then it's like, it's kind of hard to argue Superman's going to be up there with God Mode. Then you say, okay, God Mode surpassed Kaioken. It's like, well, no, there's no competition. Then just a minute I saw him go Kaioken with God Mode. I said, that's it. He can't beat him. Now we got to go and use Superman Prime against him. Then he did Kaioken times 10 God Mode. And I was like, I don't think even Prime at this point could take him. I was like, I don't really know anybody in that DC or Marvel universe who could take him. You know,
let alone in this universe. I mean, that was
it's just ridiculous. It's like the writer doesn't realize. It's like, listen,
you gotta pace yourself, man.
You gotta pace yourself. It's like, really, who could handle him? He's like, oh, I was saying this for Beerus.
Yeah.
It's like, well, dude, like Beerus couldn't take this kind of power.
Even Beerus was kind of sweating. He was like, damn, like that's.
First of all, he should be sweating.
Powerful.
The guy for you, I mean, you definitely held back. I wouldn't say a lot. According to like the movie,
he was using,
right? No, he was using 70% of his power, so he got 30% left. Okay,
he's still getting rocked.
But if you go surpass, God Mode Surpass, then that should make up the difference of that 30%.
Yeah,
that should be now you're on par with him.
Yeah.
Now if you're on par with him with God Mode Surpass, and mind you, you've been messing with that form for quite some time. Right now, you know, in reality time went by like only like a 4, 5, 6, close to a year.
Close to a year.
You know, Pam wasn't born; she was just pregnant.
Yeah.
And then now she's like a baby, and
I remember they went into that little spiral world to train for a little bit. So
yeah,
that probably added even more time.
The Spirit Temple of Time.
Yeah.
So they did 18 months in there. And that's 18 months training in that kind of fucking world. And then including what Whis put him in also, which is a similar version of it.
To that, yeah.
So they've been doing with this thing for probably about 3 years, 4 years with Surpass. So he should be above that. Now it should be like, well, now I got to use 70% of my power in Surpass, and he has to, use 100% of his. Then that's without the Kaioken, and this is my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Now you
got Kaioken, and it's like, well, it doubles my levels. Okay, so it doubles your levels. So now
you're God times 2 now.
Yeah, right now you should be like fighting Beerus with like maybe 40% of your power, because he's not improving. He's just kind of sleeping. You know what I'm saying? He has no reason, or he thinks he has no reason to improve. He has no clue that he needs to. So then you do that. Then you times it by 10 with the. It's like, whoa. All Goku needs to do is find him like really like not even 10% of his power. He needs to find him like a 5%, 1% of his power. I mean, you're doing it by 10. You gotta find him like 1% of your power. I mean, he should just finger flick him. Like, remember what you did to me? You know,
I should be able to do that to
Super
you now.
Saiyan like level 3, you just handle my Super Saiyan level 3. Well, guess what? I'm gonna take your God of Destruction, okay, and I'm gonna do it right now. I'm about to just lay like, why wait? Why wait? I mean,
I think it's just too fast.
As a matter of fact, why don't you go get Whis and Vegeta and let's just all
just bring them all on. Yeah,
let's just do this. You know.
Well, you know, it's just one of those things that's just too much. It's too much, too quick. It's
way too quick.
And I get it, like
Way
visually it looked cool. Like, don't get me
too
wrong, when he did the Kamehameha, when he went ×10, it was kind of nostalgic and it was cool.
It was hot.
I thought to see that.
It was like, cool. I like the way they had the words like Kame, and it was cool. Like the way I was like, man, that's very nice, but
very nostalgic. But again, it's like. It's like, I remember you were saying you were like that. You were hoping that was something that kind of you build up to that. Like that's like the final blow to another type of thing. But to this, it just felt like too much.
I felt like that kind of level he had right now with introducing Kaioken into that form. I felt like that should have been like the season finale, the series finale. Yeah. Of the whole Dragon Ball Super stuff, where now Goku is like, okay, what surpasses that? I'm gonna take a mix of the old and I'm gonna mix it with the new, and I'm gonna smoke them with this, and whoever that villain would have been. And obviously it has to be someone above Beerus. It has to be someone above Champa. Yeah. You know, it has to be someone incredibly powerful to contend with this guy.
So now this goes back to what I was saying before. So hit improving technique only improves his ability to freeze time.
According to what they said at first, then they kind of contradicted themselves. Originally, they were like, well, remember because Hit came at Goku,
right? And
then Goku was like, well, I thought you powered up, but and everybody was like, no, he didn't. It seemed like a kind of a power up, but he didn't really power up. He's like, that still felt like the same kind of hit, like the same kind of power you're generating. He was just stuff. Then he says, well, no, what I improved was my timing and stuff. He improved his technique. So I was like, okay, so then you're physically not able to hang with him.
That's what I wanted to bring up, because this guy's getting hit by Kaioken 10 punches, and it's just like, it's just like, oh, oops, ow, 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 and it's just like, no, you should have. Yeah. You if you're not improving your strength, you shouldn't even be taking those hits.
Well, then what happened was, then later on they contradicted him, so like he always does. Then Goku had made mentions like, oh, you also are hitting a little harder now.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, but what is it? You just improving the time? Because he just said himself. Yeah. All I did was improve, like, instead of going from, saying 0.1, I went to 0.2 and stuff.
Now I'm at 0.5.
Yeah, so, But then it goes back to, like I said, even when if Goku's able to hurt him in base form, because mind you cut him and stuff like that.
Right.
Then you go Super Saiyan God, it's like, well, no, technically you would have killed him.
His head should have exploded.
He should have not been able to keep up with you and stuff, and he hadn't improved at that point.
Right, but then they came up with, towards the end of the episode, was, oh, well, he's an assassin, so he's holding back because he doesn't want to kill Goku, so there's still a lot he's not able to do that's like fatal hits, so that's why maybe we don't see his true power. And that's to me was like, that's why I was like, and that to me was like, well, now you're saying, like, what are we saying about Hit? Is Hit, I mean, at this point, it's like you said, at this point, Hit should be able to take Champa. Hit should be able to take Beerus, because he's taking Goku like, oh yeah, okay, I can hang, I can do this, I can take your punches. And I mean, what's the difference between, him just going after Champa? So them just kind of equivalating that, oh, he's an assassin, so he's not showing you his full potential. So I feel like this is going to be a character that is probably going to be even more powerful, because it seems like they're setting up for him to fight Goku again. That was the whole reason of him, do you want to go to the results of the fight yet? Or
yeah, might as well.
So Goku, I mean, you've got seen it. If you haven't, spoilers. Goku decides that, Champa and Beerus, who's been bickering this whole time, basically came out and said what everybody kind of knew, but this was just kind of like a slap in the face, where they're like, look, we don't care about you guys. You guys are in this tournament, but really you're just pawns to us. You're just like these chess pieces that we're using to have fun, to see who's better. But we really don't care about you guys. And Champa was more vocal about that than Beerus. Beerus actually seemed like he was holding back his kind of arrogance a little bit. Champa was full force, like, look, you guys mean nothing to us. And so because of that, Goku decided that, there's no point. There's no point in continuing this tournament because we can't kill each other, and we want to fight all out, but we can't because these guys really, they don't view us as actual like fighters. They just view us as pawns. So Goku flies out and eliminates himself. He just taps on the outside and hit wins. And I don't know, like to me, I kind of felt like, damn, like this tournament was for nothing. Like it was just like to showcase stuff, but to end it like that, it was like. Usually when that happens, like if you think about the other tournaments they had, like the tournament where Majin Buu was around, or I'm trying to think, there's another tournament. Usually there's something else at stake that they don't really need to finish the tournament. Like the tournament is there to showcase their abilities, but then there's something else that you're like, oh, okay, that's cool that they didn't finish this tournament because they don't really need it. This is something else. But this was like sort of different. This was like built around a tournament, and this was built around the outcome of that tournament. There was no other outside forces. So to have it end that way, I just found it kind of felt like, all right, I guess like Goku just gave up. Like Goku just basically just tapped out.
Well, the thing that got to me more than anything like that was Champa was like, okay, now you guys all pissed me off. Now I'm gonna smoke you. And everybody seemed like, well, he can do this. And I'm like, well, no. Like, dude, you're just talking to a guy
that took out Goku.
That took out Goku. Don't tell me you're up to his level. But they're making it seem like he is. I'm like,
yeah.
Are they holding back that much? Because according to them,
this is their max.
This is it. This is the best they're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hit will smoke you. He will smoke you bad.
And Hit was fine. Hit was ready to go. So, I mean, so I think what also adds to the kind of what you're talking about is then right after that, which I called. I knew since the beginning of this tournament that they would have a comical ending because this series has been a lot more comedy than it has been dramatic action. And sure enough, and it was funny, don't get me wrong, Nipples is scared, he's called up to fight and he's just shivering and he's looking back and Goku's like, oh my god, this guy's awesome. And to me that was the funny moment. We always have funny moments of each round, and that was funny. But like, it was just like he hits Hit, and then Hit's just like, okay, I owe Goku one, and he just like eliminates himself, and that's how they win. It's like, what? I guess, but going back to what you were saying is like, Hit wasn't tired. He was actually improving. So when he went up to Champa, at first it was like you were saying, it was like, because Hit was like, all right, I don't need the cube anymore, which I don't know why he doesn't need the cube anymore. They never really explained why he needed it in the first place. I guess Goku just made him stronger to the point where he's just like, I don't even need to go to any other universes anymore. I'm just stronger right now as is, so I don't need to do that. So whatever. But at first, Champa's like, he's like, oh, you think that's that easy? And Hit's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I expected. But then Champa does like something else, and he's like freaking out. I'm like, no, you don't need to freak out, dude. You're still at good health. You just made Goku tap out. I mean, sure, you guys could have went on to fight more, but you were taking him on pretty well. I'm pretty sure you can use the same technique on Champa, and at least
he hadn't even figured it out. Like he was clueless about it. I mean, the thing about it is
even the female Whis was like, oh, I'm surprised you figured that out for having Goku like lose his power. Remember, he was like, oh, Hit, just run around the ring, let his Kaioken wear out.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that's pretty smart of you. I didn't think you would get that. So we already know Champa's not a smart fighter. He's a powerful fighter.
Yeah, he's just got pure power. But even with his power, it just shouldn't be nowhere near Hit's at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, even before the fight even happened, Hit should have smoked him. It goes back to that. Like with that 1 second,
yeah,
should have been more than what he should have had. Technically, if he wanted the cube, he should have just took it. He should have just
actually,
He could have been like, you know what? Yeah. You got that's what it does? That's what that cube does? Okay, give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, you don't want to give it to me? Well, guess what? Assassin's hit. Boom, now you're dead. But the thing about it is, it's like this is the stupidest thing. I never quite understood that in that world that he's trying to establish. The level these guys had is like Frieza with money.
Right.
Hit with the cube. When they're this powerful, and I'm not going based off of a comic books, like for instance, like Marvel and DC and Image, any comic book I've ever read, once a character gets to a certain power level, money is very is obsolete. It's obsolete.
Unless you're a villain. Because
if you're the Lex Luthor, if you're the Joker, it's about something to a certain extent.
Oh, true.
But if you're a
powerful,
Thanos, if you're a Galactus, if you're saying a Beyonder, if you're one of those type of villains, you know what I'm saying? You don't need that. Like there's really nothing you can't. Like, what's the point of buying stuff when you can just create it with your mind? What's the point of buying something when you can just take it? Yeah. There's really nothing. I mean, first of all, Beerus also was going out there kind of doing that. He go to a planet, they offer him whatever. In exchange, he just spares their life.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. If he could do that, why can't Hit? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It still goes back to that.
Yeah.
Why can't Hit? Why can't Goku?
Yeah, it's kind of weird for an assassin to now be that powerful and still be an assassin for hire. It's like you're beyond that. Like really,
you're beyond that. Like literally, Frost is gonna come to my planet. He's gonna try. No, he can do nothing. Boom! I just smoked him and his entire army.
Yeah.
There is nothing. Even like with someone like Frost, even though he's not the most powerful one in that universe, like it goes back to the Frieza. But he at one point he probably thought he was.
Right.
Unless he saw like Kaba and stuff like that, and he was like, well, they were which. Kaba wasn't as strong as him. Up until he fought Vegeta, he wasn't on Force's level. So he really wouldn't have anything to fear from him either. So, and that's the thing about these villains, these heroes, like, they're beyond this stuff. Like, they're beyond money.
Yeah.
I mean, Goku could have been wish himself a million zenny or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it doesn't really. Yeah.
It's never been about money for him. It's always been about making him stronger.
Yeah.
And which is why I guess he doesn't take anything from anybody because he's a good guy. I got that.
Yeah.
But with someone like Hit, who's an assassin for hire, there's nothing you could use with money. You could just get everything yourself. You could literally just bend people to your will.
Especially at this point, you're just. I mean,
you go to a planet, you could do whatever you want. Everybody in the universe should be feared of you, including Champa.
Yeah.
Including that female version, because I don't see them contending with this guy.
Well, I guess what type of character do you consider Hit? Because
they're trying to make him like the
good guy.
They're trying to make him like the Goku of that universe. You know what I'm saying? Like we expect that to be Kaba, but no, it's him because even Vegeta made mention that he's like, I don't like a guy who could do what we could do as Saiyans, but do it better. You know what I'm saying?
But is he considered a good guy? Is he considered a bad guy? Is he considered an anti-hero?
No, I think
I didn't really get what his
I think
agenda...
he's not a villain. He's definitely not a villain because a villain wouldn't do that. Frost was a villain. He's just a guy. It's like he was doing kind of like assassin type work for employment, which still goes back to that whole thing. It's like you don't need it. Like you should be beyond money. It's like that's why Thanos got the Infinity Gauntlet. What did Thanos do? He could have got anything he wanted. Yeah. He could have got anything he wanted. Only thing he wanted was something the Gauntlet really couldn't quite give him,
which is death.
Which is death's love. You know what I'm
death,
saying?
Yeah.
So he snapped his fingers. He just destroyed half the sentient life in the universe, in the Marvel universe. So if you're capable of doing that, there's nothing that you could do. Like you could roll into whatever you want and stuff. The finest restaurant and easily just boom. You could get whatever. I mean, even food for him would be obsolete at that point. So there's really nothing he could ever want stuff, which the only thing would be the affection of death, which kind of makes sense. But then again, it's like what her aide had kind of said to her and stuff was like, well, she doesn't want to be with you now because now you're with the Gauntlet, you're far beyond her, so she's a lesser being compared to you. Yeah. So she's not worthy enough to be with you. So now you got it. Now she doesn't even want to be with you because of that. Yeah. Which is true. It's like, well, why would he? Yeah. So then he made his over version of himself. You know what I'm saying? His own companion. That's what you do when you have power. That's what you do. You could do anything you want. And that's the thing that I don't understand about some of these people that they're establishing.
Where do you think it goes from here? Because it's like Hit is now powerful. He seems like
it's like with Frieza. Frieza was up until in the beginning.
Right.
Frieza was the baddest person on their planet without even knowing about there was no hint to Cell. He didn't know anything about Majin Buu. He didn't know any of this stuff. Right. He was the baddest person. Now he's doing this employment thing. He's selling planets to the highest bidder. But you're so powerful. You're smoking planets with a gesture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What do you need money for? What do you even need an army for? And it's stupid. That's the thing I don't get. Like I think back to that, I'm like, no. Like at this point, I want to see their villains kind of evolve. Like make it a reason why he would need money. Like there is somebody stronger than him out there that he knows about. You know what I'm saying?
Or making what a villain does, which is they want power, they want people to fear them, they want to take over. You know, any powerful person. The next logical thing for a villainous powerful person is to just start becoming God. You know, it's like they have the God complex, where it's like, you should fear me. I should be taking over planets. I should be doing this. So to have an assassin be that powerful is just kind of weird, because it's like you said, it's like, why would you need that? But again, that's moving forward, and kind of the gray area that they made this character, because in the beginning you think that he's a bad guy, and then halfway through the fight you're like, oh, he's not so bad, and at the end he's like, I owe you one. So you're like, okay, definitely this guy is not a bad guy. You know, he's just this guy for hire.
Well, this was funny because when I was watching it with you, I said, doesn't he kind of look like Piccolo in the face?
And Piccolo kind of.
So, Piccolo wasn't really a true bad guy either, because he ended up being a good guy at the end of the day.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that's gonna be hit. That's just what I equate hit to. I'm like, that's gonna be hit.
They're gonna meet again, and something's gonna happen, and hit is gonna be on their side. So you know, to sum up the last round, well, definitely like I said, the round 9 I don't count, because I knew that was coming. It's comical. Yes, it's funny, but it's kind of like, it ended the way it ended. But what did you think about the fight overall between Hit and Goku?
I thought it, you know, like I said, I thought it, for what it was, it lived up to the hype. It was epic. There's no doubt about that. He went for epic. It was epic.
Definitely epic, yeah.
You know, it's what the final fight should have been.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't.
Too much power.
It's just way too much power, way too soon.
Yeah.
Even for Hit, like I felt like a villain like Hit, I wouldn't even give him that, like, the improvement on top of his time lapse thing. I wouldn't even have given him that. I would just give him the time lapse thing, and that would have been it. Like, I would just made it kind of just about that.
Yeah.
Then I would have saved that for another villain, for another universe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whatnot. That's kind of what I would have did. But it still goes back to, like, from the beginning what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? And as more I think back to it, and I said, well, where would I have improved and stuff, like what would I have done different?
Mm-hmm.
I would have went way back to the beginning, before even Beerus even landed on planet Earth and started doing all this stuff. I would have made it. I would have brought the Golden Frieza saga just sooner.
Right.
And I would have made it about Frieza. But then like I said, I would introduce that whole thing with the fusion stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how he's contending with them and stuff. He fuses and stuff, and he does this. And then during that whole time, while he's doing this, he's fighting, when Goku tries to figure out what's the next level of Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to figure that out and stuff. We kind of make it where Gohan ends up actually being the guy who ends up being Frieza and not Goku. Because I would have kept it where he's still like Ultimate Gohan or Mr. Gohan, whatever you want to call him. You know, I would have made it kind of like that. Then do the Beerus, kind of give him something to kind of build up towards.
Yeah, and I think that's what this. You hit it on the key. Is like this whole series feels like there isn't. It's like they're doing the opposite of what they used to before. There's no build up. Everything just seems to happen very quickly now.
Very quickly. So now it goes back to this. You just gave him a villain who had this weird technique that was catching these guys and stuff, and then now you give him where he could improve and stuff. Now he's a lot more powerful. So
where do we go from here?
Now you go to another universe. Now you're gonna have someone better than him.
Yeah.
You're gonna have someone better than him that could fight a Super Saiyan God Surpass, Kaioken times 10. You know, like,
which is what they're kind of alluding to, because at the tail end of the last episode, you know, we see Champa's about to kill them. Beerus is just chilling, and then
he's gonna attempt to kill him. Because he shouldn't be on their level. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like, it was kind of stupid for him even coming at Hit and stuff, and because Hit would have smoked him. So he should have smoked him.
So he's attempting to kill him, and then all of a sudden this small little alien appears with these two high guards, and Beerus and Champa are like freaking out. Like, they are like, oh shit, like, this guy is here. We don't know who this guy is. I can only imagine, we can only speculate that this person should be the god who names gods, or the god of the gods, or somewhere around that realm, because for them two to be that scared, have not showing any type of fear throughout this whole series, where even their little bit of fear is like a little bead sweat, but this was like eyes bulging.
Chevron fear.
Yeah, they're like, oh, whoa. So I don't know who this guy is. We can only speculate that he is the god, but it goes back to what you're saying, is like, where do we go from here? Because then that means, because we were just talking about this, it's like, well, now what? Now what does Goku do? And you're like, well, obviously now he's got to fight. He's got to be at that level. Like, now Goku's other goal is to be at that guy's level.
Yeah.
And now we're just, I mean, where do we go? Like, people are going to get so dusted and lost in this series. I hope not, but...
Well, you got Vegeta, who's a Super Saiyan God.
He just got dusted.
He even admitted, like, Goku was just so, like, he's always
a step ahead.
A step ahead. I'm like, a step ahead? A step ahead? Are you kidding me? The dude is way beyond you.
He's 10 levels ahead of you already.
He's way beyond you. It's like, you have nothing for this guy.
And
your best bet would have been when you first started out with him, and you didn't get it done that day. You were not getting it done.
And that's what I'm afraid of. Is like people are gonna get lost in the mix because
people are already lost in the mix. Like, you know how many obsolete people there are. It's
and
like
now they're just
unreal amount.
And now they're just observers. It's like I'm looking at like at the end of when they were all hugging Goku. I was like, man, like all these people and God knows everybody back on Earth. They're just observers now. Like how can you even give anything or feel like you're a part of this fight when these fights are just getting crazier and crazier, like
just like their levels is just like insane at this point.
So that's what I fear. I feel like moving forward is like it's what do you do? Like you can't say Gohan is gonna train to be a factor in this because he just dusted everybody. And sure, like the people that they fought in the tournament, you see like they're not even near close to Goku's level, so maybe you can try to add people from the group, but why would you? Like, at this point, it literally doesn't make any sense unless Goku's just like, let me let them get some practice. It's like
at the end of the day, there's like you still have him around. It's like that Return of Dragon Ball Z special and stuff, you know,
right?
Where the Return of Son Goku and stuff special. It's like we'll let the kids fight Frieza's supposed warriors and stuff who were Captain Ginyu's level back then, and after all this training now, each one is at Frieza's level, but they're like Frieza's level. Let's let the kids have them. Let's let Goten and Trunks, have them. And then they went ahead and they merged and they're doing this thing. And at the end of the day, all it took was for Goku just to go, oh, okay, Super Saiyan 3. I smoked you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? End of fight. That's it. It goes back to that. I mean,
they're ramping up.
Yes, like now Goku is probably looking at this dude like, okay, you're next. Because I just surpassed this guy.
I want your level.
You're next.
Yeah.
And you just saw like, okay, so now I know what the future they're going. Now I should have predicted there was like somebody above Beerus. Now I didn't say it originally because I'm like, well, the way they established it was Beerus from the movie and also in the series said there's only one guy above me, and we found out it was Whis. He's the only one stronger.
But now,
okay, so now they got somebody stronger than Whis and him and stuff. And it's like, well, okay, it kind of makes sense because where's Whis' role and stuff like.
Right. Where are all these people coming from?
Why does he keep him on track and stuff if he's more powerful than him?
Right.
Well, there's somebody that he answers to as well.
Right.
So okay, fine, that makes sense and stuff. But now I'm like looking at it, I'm like, it's gonna be a matter of time. Goku's just gonna surpass this clown too.
Right.
Like he's gonna surpass him and stuff. And it's like I said, like I'm like, I don't know. It still goes back to that. That's why I want to do going back to Superman vs. Goku so bad. And I know you're like, want to do it and stuff.
Well, it's kind of hard because, I mean, honestly, when I looked at this, I was like, well, Goku has been leveling up this whole time. And yet Hit has been able to kind of match him. So, to me, it's like the rules that Akira set up in this world are so foggy that it's hard for me to even feel like there's a clear consensus way for a superhero from another universe to fight him, because it's like technically if Goku is that strong, that fight should have ended the minute he went Kaioken 10 and hit him that first time. That's it. He should have either been knocked out or killed. But the fact that Hit was able to hang with him, I'm like, so is Goku really that powerful? Like everybody's saying he's powerful, but
he's exhibiting that kind of power.
He's exhibiting it, but there's nothing that shows me that there's no connection for me to be like, this guy is that powerful as everybody around him is reacting because Hit is still alive. Hit is, and it's not even about killing him. It's the fact that Hit is still able to do something towards him. I feel like when you're at that level, when you're like, oh, this is the level, this is the level, this is the level, there should be a definitive boom.
Well, there should be a gauge. And that's what I always said.
But there never is with him, and that's the problem.
And stuff, like in that world, there's no ruling.
This is the guy that gets killed by a razor blast out of nowhere, and
from a scrub.
So it's hard for me to be like definitively this is this character's attributes.
Well, it's
because
kind of crazy that
it's always like this. There's always like these gray areas where it's like.
Well, it also goes back to that. It's like you were saying, Goku was giving up the strategy and stuff, and I didn't want to mention that before. The reason why he gave up the strategy, he's like, listen, even if I'm gonna make it a fair fight, I'm gonna try to make a fair fight.
Right.
I still have this in my back pocket.
Right.
If Goku's doing that and he's smiling stuff, that means you should be scared.
Right.
That means you probably should just tap out right there because he has something else up his sleeve, and it's something gonna be incredible. And I didn't think they were gonna give him that because they never did it for any of the other Super Saiyan forms.
Yeah.
And I thought that was something I had asked that question actually on the Yahoo Answers and stuff because I was kind of confused with that, the GT. So I wasn't sure if GT had that was Super Saiyan 4.
Shout out to Yahoo.
If I was asking a question and some people said nah, it couldn't be. Some people actually said that it did go Super Saiyan. He did go Super Saiyan. Kaioken was Super Saiyan 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious about that. But
now,
of course GT doesn't. It's not canon. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, no. Now I have a definitive answer. He did this shit.
Yeah, he went God form and Kaioken times 10.
So it just goes back to that. It's like, but it still goes back to why I want to do it because it's like the argument Death Battle made was this: Superman has no limits.
Well, before we get into that, let's finish up this tournament.
No, but I just kind of want to touch upon that. Goku has no limits. I mean, Superman has no limits, and Goku's a man who always tries to surpass his limitations. But what happens when you fight a hero that's improving while you're fighting him? Would you not become, have no limits as well? That's the thing about that's the thing about that. Is it unstoppable force and unmovable object kind of a thing? But then again, doesn't Superman still have limits? Because if Superman Prime is more powerful than Superman All-Star or anything else, I mean, obviously he has a limit. If he's more powerful, he has a more powerful version of himself, he still has a limit. So if that means he can be beaten.
Right.
That's my argument. Then they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. It still goes back to that.
We'll save that for a future episode. I can see that we are going to do this episode. But to cap off this episode, the preview for the next episode, it seems like they're going to ask whoever that guy is, they're probably going to figure out who that person is, what's his deal with the gods. But then the bigger thing is the moment of truth, which is the reveal of the Universe Shenrong or the Universe Dragon.
Yeah, the Super Dragon.
And what they're going to wish for. And that's the thing that I'm curious, like, what is the wish going to be?
But it still goes back to, like I said, early on, like, Super Dragon Balls, regular Dragon Balls, they don't really wish for anything. He could have wished for 1,000,000 Zenny. He could have wished to rule the universe. He doesn't care about this thing. Like, it just goes back to that.
Well, I feel like they're using the Dragon Balls now as two things. The first was to have a reason to bring back Frieza, right? Like, they brought back Frieza because they used the Dragon Balls.
Okay.
I think the second thing that might happen, because they've always been alluding to this, even Champa, not Champa, I think Champa Beerus was saying is like, I'll probably wish for something like to bring your planet to my planet or something like that. I forget what it is, but I feel like this is gonna be a definitive moment where either they're gonna go the GT route a little bit and have somebody wish for a cap or be spiteful, even though I don't know. I feel like there's a moment that might change the course of this series, hopefully, where it gives us something different and it kind of gives us something to look forward to as far as like evening things out or bringing something in that might even things out. I hope that's what happens because it could be what you said. It could be something as trivial as, 1,000,000 Zenny. Oh, we would like to have 2 Earths. Oh, we would like to have.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
I
mean,
I would like, or Goku would be like, I would like to have access to go to any universe I want. Like,
that's what the Q is for, though.
Right.
But
so I hope that it's something that they use as a wish to kind of slow things down. I don't know what it could be. Like, for me, it would be like I said, like.
Yeah, but the thing about I don't see them doing it because they're showing no sign. Now they do someone stronger than Beerus. So now Goku's like, he doesn't want to slow things down. Now he wants to go ahead and speed things up. They want to get Goku to the point where this guy here, Goku will not rest until he's the baddest person in all the universes, okay? He will not rest. The fact there's someone out there stronger than him, he can't sleep at night with that thought. He won't let that thought even creep in his mind for a second. and those are things that kind of motivate him and make him go longer and strong. Like with Hit, he's like, what's keeping you in the fight? Like, what are you surviving? I'm not. I feel like you'll be cheated. We'll all be cheated if I didn't show you my best.
Right.
That's the thing about him. If he feels like he still has something deep within himself, he's gonna push him to go further.
I hear you.
Which is what I love about Goku. You know what I'm saying? His ability to never quit. His ability to always be better than what he was. That's what I like about these heroes, the Superman, the Gokus and stuff, is that there's something that I could never be or really can't aspire to because I have my limitations. Because I'm a regular human. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. And but these guys here, like I love their personas and stuff, like their never say die attitude and stuff. I always wish I could be something like that. So
you don't think
I see with a guy like that in that universe and being with what Goku is and stuff, and now they have unfinished business with Hit. And I've seen this happen before. I think the next time we see Hit, Goku's gonna have him a lot more surpassed because they've done that with Piccolo. Right. They've done that with Pai Kahan. You know what I'm saying? They've done this with like other people. Like I seen him fight these people. Like Tien, when he first fought Tien in the tournament, Tien actually beat him the first time in Dragon Ball. Next tournament they had, Goku was way above Tien. Okay, Piccolo. He fought Piccolo and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did win that fight, but next time you kind of see Piccolo and him, the gap ended up being margin like off by a lot. Okay, when he fought Pai Kahan in the Otherworld tournament and stuff up in heaven and stuff. They were evenly matched. Pai Kahan actually technically won that fight. You know what I'm saying? By technicality, by ring out. Goku. Next time you see Pai Kahan and Goku, which is in the movie, Goku's way above that. Like he just surpassed. I think that's what's gonna happen to Hit. I think it's gonna motivate Goku to want to fight Hit again and finish that fight.
But the next time,
no. But he's really got his eye on the bigger prize.
Right.
And his eye on the bigger prize is not Hit. He's like, I'm gonna surpass him. Then the next person left for me is going to be this guy, not Beerus. He should have him beat right now. He should have this dude beat by now. Goku saved this from knowing this is going to finish the fight.
Right.
There shouldn't even be a debate about it. I don't think he even needed that for him. I'll be honest, I don't know why he even need to go that far for him. Right. Now for this guy, this little man, that's the guy goal. That Kaioken should have came in for. You see what I'm saying? And Goku should have beaten Beerus with just Super Saiyan God Surpass. That Kaioken should have dusted that little man. Whoever that guy is. I don't care how powerful he is. I don't care if he's twice as powerful as Beerus. That should have dusted him. So, this is why I say you should have saved it all. But not how powerful is this guy. Now is Beerus like 1% of this guy's power if this is the case. Because Goku with the Kaioken times 10 should have made Beerus very obsolete.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that they don't. I know that that's Goku's goal, and I know that's the goal that eventually they're going to do. But they need some because
what they should is it goes back to the beginning. That's why you have to go back to the beginning. They need to really in from the beginning get it right. Let's get people in there.
Well, what can they do now though? Because they've already done that. So it's like
what they need to do is like.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping they have something to stop it.
They have the Dragon Ball, these Super Dragon Balls. What Goku needs to do is like, he has to look at that guy, like wow, he's so powerful. Even Beerus, after seeing my Kaioken, was like wasn't was a little scared, but he was like still kind of talking to me kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he think he still could take me for some odd reason, but he knows 100% he cannot take this guy. He needs to use those Dragon Balls in a way where he'd be like. Wishing for like that the Universal Dragon to kind of create him a training environment that he could train in a certain amount of time to surpass Little Man. That's what he needs to say. I wish for a training environment that could make me improve to the point and in a certain amount of time where I could surpass Little Man there. And and beat the King of the Gods. Let's just call him the King of the Gods.
King of the Gods,
say it.
We don't know.
Surpass him.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now we got that. Now he's out the picture for a little bit. Now let everybody else kind of like let Tien do his thing. I saw Tien there. I love Tien. I'm a Tien man. Let Piccolo do his thing. Let's see what Gohan did on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Kind of let everybody else kind of be, and then or little like kind of like whatever. Vegeta should go in there, just make the wish and stuff, like realizing Goku's so far beyond him and stuff, and maybe kind of like maybe he wishes for that environment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Kakariko, you got to do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? You got to have to go in and figure this out because now I got this. and next time you see me, won't be the same
It'll
way.
be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, but that's what I mean. I feel like at this point they have to separate these guys and make it, because it's like I would hate to have another 5 or 6 episodes where it's great, we're watching Goku and Vegeta train, but then we go back to Earth and it's just like Goku and Vegeta are still in the picture. At any moment when these Z fighters are in trouble, it's like, all right, hold on, all right, here, I'm saving the day, all right, I'm going back to training. I feel like,
I mean, Golden Frieza at one point, Goku said that if the fight would have kept going on, Golden Frieza would have beaten Goku and stuff. You know that, wow, your level's too more powerful, like so much more powerful than mine.
yeah.
If he would have fought that Goku what we just saw, Golden Frieza would have been smashed.
He was just like,
he would have melted his ass. Like,
So, but
Chi-Chi needs a gold necklace.
but
That's gonna be you.
I think that's what this series is missing, is like, you got the comedy, you have the action, but there's none of that drama that we had in Z, which made, to me, Z so overall good, is because when they had sagas, there was some type of tension of like, can these people die? Can these people overcome this obstacle to fight this villain, to get through this moment? And with these guys becoming gods now, even if you have them training somewhere, you still have them in the picture, that you don't have that drama anymore. Like, perfect example was Golden Frieza, where it's like, yeah, Gohan is getting his ass kicked and all this stuff, but it's like, in the back of your head, you're like, Goku's gonna find a way to get there, and he's 10 times powerful than Golden Frieza. There's nothing to it. And I feel like for this show to sustain itself, because right now they're doing like the DC version of like, we don't have enough time. We have to give them everything now because we don't have enough. This false sense of like, we have to do this in a short amount of time, that there's going to come a point where it's like Goku's already all jacked up and you're going to have nothing left. You're like,
yeah,
all right,
like,
well,
what
now what do we do?
Right now?
We're on 40 and we're already at Kaioken times 10.
So if his goal is just to have like the 100th episode special,
what is that even going to look like if they continue that?
Like, I'm saying,
it's just going to be too
I don't
boring.
understand like how long he plans to continue with the series, because it's like you're not really gonna have like I mean, their level at the end of the first year of Super, it's like
they're the 40 episodes.
If you're planning on making this as long as like let's say Dragon Ball Z
yeah.
or Dragon Ball, which is what I'm thinking he was trying to do in the beginning.
I don't even know now.
Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, like he was surpassing Kaio's and stuff in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, he has surpassed the Earth God, which was
Kami.
Kami,
yeah.
He surpassed Kami in Dragon Ball, okay? In Dragon Ball Z, he was passing, beginning of Dragon Ball Z, he was passing almost all the Kaios. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
By the end of Dragon Ball Z, by mid Dragon Ball Z, he has surpassed all the Kaios, including Supreme Kai, who's now just an onlooker, mind you. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody is in this series.
Dai Kaio and all them, they just watch
the
the fights. No. Now, in the beginning, like, of Dragon Ball, like, of Super and stuff, he's already surpassed some of these gods. The only one left is Little Man, I think, at this point, you know?
And again, he's, a bunch of...
Yeah, I mean, and, like, dude, your days are numbered. I don't know if he's there to make, like, wait a second, this guy got this powerful, this fast, and he's immortal. You know how to become a deity. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to wish it myself. Unless that's his plan.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There has to be some type of thing that stops what we're at right now. You know what I equivocated to? Is like, you ever play a video game where the first level of the game, it shows you everything that you could be later on in the game?
I forgot what it was. Like Metroid.
Like Metroid,
yeah.
Metroid, you had like all this weaponry.
Or God of War.
God of War is another one.
You know what I'm saying? When they had in
exactly like God of War.
The second one or the third, I forgot what it was. And he has all his god power.
Everything.
And he's just smoking everything. Then all of a sudden now, the next, he loses it all, and it's like, damn, now I gotta build up to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, it's like, it loses
but it gave you something to look forward to.
When you first start in there, like, you have all these techniques and all this power.
Yeah.
Then you lose it. In the beginning, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's at this
like,
moment, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not as good. Then later on, as you start getting new techniques, new weapons and stuff, then you start feeling it better and stuff. Okay, and I feel more accomplished.
And that's what I'm hoping that this is. I feel like if this is what you're going to show me, this is what you can get to, and then you strip it all away, I'd be fine with that, because it's like, it's just too much too quick, and this series can be a lot better than that, and you don't need to rush things. Everybody's in. Like, you look online, I've been looking online and Twitter and everything is like, people are just so happy that this is back. You're not going to lose these people if you slow it down and pace it to the way
Yeah,
where you build it up, because we're used to that. Like I remember going into Super, that's what I was like, okay, remember that this is gonna be a slow build, and there's gonna be some episodes where there might be these face-offs that last like 5 minutes.
Nobody knows how to do that, and I think Marvel gets credit for doing it the best, but like I told you about my plan.
Yeah.
He knows about my plan, and we're gonna do an
We'll
episode
talk
about that in the
yeah.
future.
Yeah.
They're looking at phase 3, possibly even a phase 4. I showed him my phase. I got to get Marvel all the way to phase 10. I can get him all the way to phase 10, and it's just based off doing it. I would do it right from the beginning.
Taking your time.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, all the history's there.
Yeah. And that's with this.
You gotta
with
pace
this,
yourself.
With this is the same thing. As like you've already built up this world that you don't need to go these extreme levels to make it kind of shiny and brand new. It's like no, you set these characters up. Let's go through some of these characters. Let's build to that next god level. But take your time getting there. Don't just like rush to it.
Yeah, I mean it's like I hate when people like do that. I mean like right now, like I'm trying to work out and get back in shape. What did I say when I took my plan? I'm gonna do this one workout for this period of time. Then I'll increase it every month and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to go crazy because when I went crazy in the past, I end up injured. You know what I'm saying? I end up injured and stuff, and I end up not working out for a long period of time and getting out of shape like I am now.
And I feel like that could happen, with Dragon Ball Super. I feel like there's gonna be a point where people are gonna be like, you know what?
They're gonna be like burnt out on these levels and stuff, and it's like you just listen. We just got Super Saiyan God now. We don't even have time to enjoy that. You give us Surpass, and now you got another level and stuff. And it's like you give us time to kind of let it sink in, let it saturate, let it fermentate.
Yeah, like God Mode, honestly, to me now doesn't like it came by so fast that
an obsolete thing.
I don't even find it special anymore. Like when he got to Super Saiyan level Surpass or Super Saiyan 3, it was like a moment. It was like we're gonna be here for a while with this.
With the entire Super Saiyan 3 for an entire I wouldn't say saga. It was like a few sagas.
Yeah.
It was the entire major story arc. It was like Super Saiyan level 3 came at the end of the Great Saiyaman saga. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Magic Vegeta saga. It was like all this other sagas. You know what I'm saying? It was like a bunch.
And you really felt for that power. You're like, wow, this is a moment. With this, it was like, okay.
Yeah, at the end of that, it's not like every kind of like major villain Dragon Ball Z was like, okay, Frieza. Now we got the Super Saiyan. But it wasn't like Super Saiyan. And by the way, Frieza, when I'm fighting you, I'm going to Surpass on you.
Right.
No, it was you just had to do with
Super
Saiyan for a long period of time. Then something kind of happened, made it obsolete. Then they go against the androids and against Cell. Then we get Super Saiyan 2.
2, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you have that, and then even when the Magic was still going on, Super Saiyan 2 still of a factor. But then you give us 3. But at the end of that, we didn't see Super Saiyan 4.
Until GT, but that's not counting.
Then GT, doesn't count, but you expect the Super Saiyan 4. Yeah. And this, I expected Super Saiyan 4 too. I didn't expect for you guys to skip 4 and possibly 5, go right to God, skip that the next time you see it. It's like, okay, now here.
Okay.
This blue hair Saiyan and stuff, and it's like they didn't even make it really special when they do that,
Yeah.
And you just kind of just put shit out there and stuff. It's just like it's just not special anymore.
Yeah.
It's just.
So I mean, that's where we're at right now. So basically, hopefully, the rest of the series moves on in a better light. And why don't you tell us what you think? Do you think that they went too far? What are your dislikes like about this whole Champa tournament? We'll probably take some time off depending on what the next step is for the next saga. So we'll keep it a couple. What we like to do is we like to keep some episodes together so we go like an overall story arc. So let's see what happens. Let's see what the next saga is. And, that'll be it for our review for this saga. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell people. Tweet about us. Tell people to subscribe to our channel. And as I always say, we'll see you later.